ago, or a few months after we had moved here, a crisis broke out in our other church where we had come from. Now, we didn't ask for it. We didn't desire for it to happen. We just know that the people involved were people at the center of this, were persons of conviction and principle. And I remember when Elder Wilson was first elected as General Conference President, one of the things he said is, hold your leaders accountable. As leaders, we are all accountable. I'm accountable to you and others, leaders in administration are accountable to the constituents of the church. I had questions in regard to how things were carried out. I met with the conference officers, as some of you know, several times, trying to understand the situation, seeking for points of clarification, trying to understand what I was seeing. You see, friends, God brought me out of the world, and He did not lead me to any other church. He brought me right to God's remnant church of Bible prophecy. But when I began to see things done within, that I seen ways that how it was handled without, it became very concerning to me. My heart was broken. And it still is. What I found is that when you stand for truth and principle, it's going to cost you something. And it's going to come to each and every one of you in a different way. But I'll tell you this. If you compromise on conviction and you waver, it becomes a very slippery slope. This has not been an easy decision for my wife and I to make. Over the last couple months, we've wept, we've prayed, we've fasted. The Bible says in Amos 3:3, can two walk together except they be agreed? After my meeting with the conference this week, I began to realize the fulfillment of this very verse. At the end of that meeting, I was not willing to yield to a prescribed discipline. Now, I'm willing to take ownership of something I'm wrong for. Church board knows that. My wife knows that. And even the conference officers know that. But I'm not willing to submit to something and be disciplined for something I'm not guilty of. At the end of that meeting, I handed them my resignation. And I can tell you it hasn't been easy. I even reached back out to them and asked if they'd reconsider some things. But you know, friends, sometimes you just have to take the path that God has mapped out for you, no matter what the cost. God continues to call His people to stand for truth and principle, and we know all will need to start practicing doing that because there are yet other tests to come.